November 2025, and firstly, just apologies for the lack of content. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I mentioned in my previous two posts that for me, the UK economy has just come running across the road and kicked me square in between the legs, you know, just telling me that times are going to get harder, a lot harder, so just sort yourself out. Can I just ask one thing from you guys, and that is just 10 minutes of your time today and no more. Can you listen to this video until the end and then just make up your mind if you should be preparing or not? If the answer is no, then that's fine. There's plenty more content out there for, you know, for people to sort of entertain themselves. If you're going to be real to yourselves and your family, guys, you're going to have to stay until the end. For 10 or for the last 10 weeks, actually, or so, whilst I've been out of work, I've come up with a plan B in terms of generating revenue. It'll mean me sort of working for myself. And whilst it's difficult moving back into the IT industry, I simply cannot sit around, you know, just waiting for ifs, buts and maybes. My new venture was launched this week on Monday. And if it does well, then I'm going to let you guys know. But until then, I'm just, you know, I'm actually at the moment heavily relying on social media to generate you know, some kind of presence. It's weird really, because when you're away from all of this and concentrating on other things, the mindset can start to change a little bit because the information feed is different. And if you can easily fall into, you know, those realms of normality bias, I'm not saying that that's what's happened to me. It's just that when you're disconnected from, you know, the real world, you know, it's easy to go wandering off. So enough of that bollocks. Let's get into this. This is meaningful, guys. I've found over the last 10 weeks that I've just haven't had time to invest here. So I want to apologise. You know, I just want to apologise for not getting content out to you guys. But I've got plenty of time on my hands now. So I've spent the last couple of days catching up on things, you know, that have changed, but sadly not for the better. As we know, Trump and his administration represent the clowns coming to town, and I tend to follow what's coming directly out of NATO's mouth, because they're not beating around the bush, guys. They're telling us exactly how it is, because they represent sort of 32 countries or member states of the alliance. And sadly, most of those member states are on the enemy's border. So we, as in NATO, the EU and the rest of Europe, cannot be walking around trying to play business economics, you know, with a fucking Russian lunatic running riot in our backyard. Trump can get away with doing all of that because he lives 1,000 miles or a few thousand miles away on another continent. I'm talking about the war in Ukraine, guys. And when you track a war for nearly 4 years, you get a really good feel of how things are sort of planning out, and you get a good idea of the battlefield. And also the movement of assets into a battle space. So I'm going to keep this quick, guys, and I just want to provide you with an update, and then I'm going to summarize this with a comment. Some of you may or may not want to hear this, to be honest with you. But a couple of days ago, Mark Rutte, and for anybody who doesn't know who he is the Secretary General of NATO. He gave a speech actually in Berlin 2 days ago. Where are we? What's the day today? Saturday? So, yeah, about Thursday. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to play the summary of what he sort of said.
I'm here today to tell you where NATO stands and what we must do to stop a war before it starts. And to do that, we need to be crystal clear about the threat. We are Russia's next target. And we are already in harm's way. When I became NATO Secretary General last year, I warned that what is happening in Ukraine could happen to allied countries too. That we had to shift to a wartime mindset. I fear that too many are quietly complacent. Too many don't feel the urgency. And too many believe the time is on our side. It is not. The time for action is now. We must all accept that we must act to defend our way of life now. Because this year, Russia has become even more brazen, reckless and ruthless towards NATO and towards Ukraine. And while Putin is trying to destroy Ukraine, he is also devastating his own country. There have been over 1.1 million Russian casualties since he began his war in 2022. And this year, Russia has lost, on average, 1,200 troops a day. Think about that. More than 1 million casualties so far and 1,200 a day killed or wounded this year alone. Putin is paying for his pride with the blood of his own people. And if he is prepared to sacrifice ordinary Russians in this way, what is he prepared to do to us? Russia's economy is now geared to wage war, not to make its people prosperous. Russia is spending nearly 40% of its budget on aggression. And around 70% of all machine tools in Russia are used in military production. Taxes are going up, inflation has skyrocketed, and petrol is rationed. Putin's next presidential campaign slogan should be, "Make Russia weak again." Not that he is troubled by free and fair elections, of course. And how is Putin able to continue his war against Ukraine? The answer is China. China is Russia's lifeline. China wants to prevent its ally from losing in Ukraine. Without China's support, Russia could not continue to wage this war. And let's not forget that Russia also relies on North Korea and Iran in its fight against freedom, with ammunition and military equipment. We need to be ready, because at the end of this first quarter of the 21st century, conflicts are no longer fought at arm's length. Conflict is at our door. Russia has brought war back to Europe.
Why I have been saying from day one of this war that NATO have no choice but to act. Putin is not stopping, and he has Europe in his sights. So just ask yourselves this: what does World War III look like for you and your family in your home country? Don't sit there and pretend that it's not happening. Right from the very beginning of this channel, video 1, my introduction video, I believe, I said this. I said that this is not a bullshit channel, because the nature of what we're going to be talking about isn't a laughing matter. I kicked off the channel not to entertain people, but to warn and prepare people. I would much rather not be doing this, guys. And to be honest with you, having the last sort of few weeks concentrating on revenue, it's actually been calming to be away from it for a bit. But I'm back to reality, and let's not get complacent. Get yourselves military fit, infantry aware, guys. Just keep an ear to the ground and just start preparing.